Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Chelsea, and today we are going to be looking at the books that I managed to read in the month of April. Now I believe there are 8 books on this list and a few comics mixed into that number. I did read like 3, I think, graphic novels in this month. So let's just get straight on into it. So the first 2 books that I read in the month of April were the Vox Machina Origins comics, volumes 1 and 2. I'm just gonna meld these 2 together because they're both 3 stars. They're alright comics. My other half loves these D&D things, campaigns, that's what they're called. My other half loves these D&D campaigns that this group do, particularly the ones that they have on Spotify. They do also have like a TV show, an animated TV show on Amazon Prime, and then they've got these which are like additional graphic novels, and they're only like 27 pages long, so I tried 2. I gave them 3 stars. They were alright. I think I preferred the first one to the second one just for the way the story went. They are literally 27 pages, so they are a tiny little snapshot of like parts of the story, and for me that's just not enough, which is why they were like alright books but not great books. And I would recommend them if you like the shows or listening to the Spotify campaigns, or you watch them on YouTube, or you watch the show. Like, if you watch the show, it definitely gives you more background into Vox Machina themselves, like rather than the campaign that they show. They're good. I'm not really a big D&D person. I know very little about it, if I'm honest, but my other half loves it, so I thought, why not give it a go. So yeah, 3 stars. They were alright. Not the most eye-opening things in the world. They were alright. From there, I then listened to Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. So I borrowed this from my library, maybe? Or I bought it. No, I bought it on Audible. And I listened to it and it was quite enjoyable. I gave it 4 stars, definitely more enjoyable than the Vox Machina comics, but there is a slightly weird thing in this, in the fact that there is like, this book is quite romance heavy and it's got tropes in it that I really don't like, but somehow I still managed to give it 4 stars because the basis of the story was fantastic. So in this book we are following our main character, whose name escapes me because I'm great at names, Xinyin. I'm not saying that right at all, but she is the daughter of the moon goddess and she is a secret no one knows about her. So one day when her magic is kind of sensed and discovered, she is forced to flee from her home and come and make a life in the celestial kingdom, which is still quite magical in itself, but she is forced to become a servant, and she is offered the chance to study with the Crown Prince to learn more about magic and military campaigns and all that sort of stuff, and she takes it, and this story is what follows. The things I didn't like about this book: there is a love triangle. I hate love triangles. What's the point? I just don't like them. And there was cheating, and I don't approve of it, fictional or non-fictional. Don't enjoy reading about it. Wasn't a fun time. Pretty sure I ranted about this in my vlog at one point. Obviously I can't say much more than that because it does spoil the book, but it was really good. I'm looking forward to the sequel of this and seeing how it goes. I'm really glad I enjoyed it as well because this is a stunning edition, and I think the next one will be probably better, in my opinion, if we take out the love triangle thing. So it might be an even higher 4 stars, and I'm really excited to see where the next one goes. So this is definitely a good one for me, and it was great for my mythology kick, which I got from the Magical Readathon. I didn't complete that TBR, like in the slightest, at all. These are still on my shelves to remind me to read them. Haven't read them. I've also got Easter eggs in the background. I've only just realised. Messy shelves. I did a reorganisation video. If you haven't seen that, I'll link that up here for you. And my shelves have reverted back to being messy again. Helpful, right? Anyways, I digress. So yeah, enjoyed this, 4 stars. Looking forward to the sequel. Looking forward to seeing where it goes next. I then went from that to Like Give Up by Mike Slade, and I was very kindly gifted a copy of the audiobook for this book. It was great. Again, 4 stars, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, especially because it's the start of a series. I'm not too sure how many books he plans to have in this series, but it's the start of a series. Usually I struggle quite a bit with the start of series just because it's like a lot of world building and we're getting to know like the ideas and that of stories. This book was really good. I loved it. I love the magic system in this. Premise is that this young boy called Kane realizes that he has got this magical power in which he can heal people, and this is not a gift that is common among his lands. It's common in a faraway land that he then has to travel to try and get training, and there he meets this princess, and she's got a whole different power of her own, and it's really cool how like their 2 magical abilities like come together to try and protect what they want and where they live, and it's just so good. Like, I really enjoyed it. Magic system is fantastic, the world building is fantastic. It's such a cool world and I can't wait to read about it more. I do need to get a physical copy, I think, because then when the sequel comes out I will then reread it and then be able to pick up. I said this before about Paladin Unbound, I'm pretty sure, by Jeff Spate, that I've listened to it audibly, but when the sequel comes out I'll reread it physically so that I kind of pick up on details that I might have missed, and then we can go from there and carry on with the series. So that is my plan. I really enjoyed it. Good book. And I love supporting indie authors and it was a really good one, so definitely check it out. Now, my only 5-star of this month has gone to the magnificent, the wonderful The Voice of War by Zach Argyle. So again, I listened to this audibly. I listen to most things audibly now. If you have signed up to his, if you haven't signed up to his newsletter, you really should, because I signed up for it and he was offering this full audiobook of the first book for free if you signed up to his audiobook. So don't walk, run to do that. Such a good book. 5 stars. World building, phenomenal. Magic system, phenomenal. So in this world you are, or you have even, threadlight, and you are a thread weaver if you are able to manipulate it, and you either have blue eyes or green eyes, and if you have blue eyes then you can manipulate air, and if you have green eyes you can manipulate the earth threads. And so good. Such a fantastic magic system. I really enjoyed reading about it. And then if you have brown eyes you are classed as like normal and you can't see any thread light and you can't manipulate it or anything. So our main character is Chris and he's a thread weaver, and upon the birth of his son things start to get manic. So it is brought to his attention that his son might not quite be the same as every other thread weaver out there, and we start to learn about 2 other kinds of thread weavers, which I'm not going to go into because it does kind of spoil it a little bit, but fantastic ideals. And I loved it. Like I said, 5 stars. I had to kind of like talk to myself and be like, look Chelsea, you loved this book, you really thought about it a lot after you finished it. It's got to be 5 stars because of that impact that it had on me. So 5 stars, loved it. I love the magic system, as I've already said. It's just so good. Like, it's very clever, and I like how the different thread weavers balance each other out. Obviously you've got air and water, and then you've got 2 others which I'm not going to talk about, but they're fantastic. I need book 2, I need to invest in it, and I need to listen to it because it's so good, and I need to know what happens to the characters from where we left off, because, you know, it's going to hurt, innit? It's going to be like reading Ryan Cahill. It's just going to break my heart, but highly recommend it. Another indie author, absolutely loved it. Check it out if you want to listen to my ideas, which I suppose you kind of do because you're watching this video. I then read Lumberjanes Volume 1, 3 stars. It was alright. Don't really know what to make of it. I do struggle a lot with the first book in graphic novel series. Obviously, like, there's not a lot of pages and it's not as easy to create fantastical worlds in a graphic novel as it is in a 600-page book. And this isn't massively fantastical, but it is a little bit. And I don't know, like, these are about like some really strong independent girls, and they're at a summer camp and they're like really good friends, and they battle all these things, but I felt lost a lot of the time. Every time we changed chapter, I got a little bit more lost. And they're good. If you like graphic novels, it probably will make more sense and you probably really enjoy it. But I'm coming to the conclusion that unless it's like a V.E. Schwab graphic novel, and even then on one of them I kind of got a bit lost, it's not necessarily the format for me. I think I like more developed worlds, and or maybe I just haven't found the right graphic novel. So if you have watched these videos and kind of have a gist for my taste in books, please recommend me some graphic novels down below that you think I'll enjoy. I've tried Saga. Saga was alright, did enjoy Saga, not all of it, I only read like 2 books I think. I want to try Monstrous, I'm not sure if I'll enjoy it. It's on my list. I don't know, recommend me some other ones because I really want to love graphic novels and I just apparently don't. So there's that. And then I finally managed to finish Girzel by I Anonymous. Like, this book took me so long to read, and it's not because of the book, it's just because of me, and it's not even that big, but this book is fantastic. It's like an alternate history as to what could have happened if like King Arthur's time period was ruled with a dragon who was the deity of a death cult, and it's very good. I gave this 4 stars. There were parts of it that I was a bit like, really, like at the first, if I'm completely honest, the first 50 to 75 pages I was 100% lost, like 100% lost, and I think that's like a common theme, I just keep getting lost. But I was waiting for the dragon to turn up, and then the dragon turned up, and then I was very confused as to where it all meshed together. But the more you read, the more it comes together. And honestly, if we had Girzel in our history, God knows where we would be right now. But this is actually kind of, if you looked at it as like a could be book, this could be believable. This could be like a past history that has happened, past history. Wow, that's a like future history. Jeez, I'm tired. Anyways, this is such a good alternate history for what it is. Like, this is one book. This is tiny. It's 200 odd pages. And it's really good, and the world building's fantastic. We follow like multiple POVs. We follow King George. There's a bit about Morgana. There's Princess Saba. Is it Saba? Sabra of Saline, which is really cool. They talk about Rome and Romans and Constantinople and invasions and all sorts. It's really good. It's really, really good. And I have like the foreshadowing because King George is in this. Girzel is a dragon. History being that George slew a dragon and he became Saint George. I'm wondering if that's gonna come into play in the future books. I'm not too sure. I do know this is already out. You can buy this on Amazon, which is pretty cool. This is like an ARC version. And I believe, I don't actually know when the next one comes out. I think they mentioned June. So if you want to check it out, definitely check it out. Seems as though the books are coming thick and fast, so definitely want to get sorted and get your teeth sank into and give it a good go. And I know that loads of people I rate for reviews have reviewed this and loved it even more than I have. So if that doesn't sway you, I don't know what will for you to read this book. From there, I then listened to short stories of Spells and Enchantments by Enid Blyton, and I gave this 3 stars. It was good for nostalgia reasons. There are loads of different short stories. I think they're quite nostalgic. There was one about Mr. Pinkwhistle. I loved Mr. Pinkwhistle growing up as a kid. He was like my favourite book. I know, well actually I didn't know, but I was made aware that Enid Blyton is problematic, which I was not aware of before I actually read this book. So sad, like, why do people have to be problematic? But anyways, it is a genuine question, why? But I rated it 3 stars, mainly for nostalgia reasons. Good short stories, good for kids, I think, and yeah, that's about that. Then the final book that I managed to read in the month of April was Supernova by Marissa Meyer, finishing off the Renegades trilogy. So that is another series done, dusted, finished, 4 stars, loved it. This book, I can't tell you a lot about it because obviously it's the final book in the trilogy, but in this book our characters develop so much, not just our main 2 characters, but all the other characters that like we kind of follow but don't get a straight out perspective for. So like members of Adrian and Nova's like renegade team, and Adrian's dad, and a whole heap of other characters have such good growth. The final chapter what the heck? So the final chapter is like a massive curveball, and I did not see it coming. Again, I said in my vlog, and I say it now, if you've read this book and you know what the final chapter is, can you like message me, because I'm not okay. Like, that is some heartbreaking stuff. I just don't know how to compute it, and I need someone to talk to about it. Because that's the end of that series now, and it's like, but there are things that still need to be resolved, but they're not going to be. So yeah, 4 stars, really enjoyed it. Really rate that series, actually. It was good fun, superheroes, villains, so good. So yeah, those are the 8 books, I think, that I managed to read in the month of April. Pretty good going. Pretty good going. I enjoyed everything I read to some extent. Nothing was horrible, nothing was horrific, so that is good. Always positive when that happens. And I got another 5 stars, so that's so cool. Like, I'm so stingy on my 5 stars, as I've said before, but that one definitely deserved it. Like, it was so good, so good. But yeah, there you go. Those are the books I read in the month of April. If you did enjoy it, please give it a like. Really supports me and my channel. Leave me a comment down below. Have you read any of these books? What are your thoughts? I'm very interested to know. You've just heard me babble on about my thoughts, so let's have a conversation. I love that. And if you don't want to leave me a comment and you just want to leave me an emoji, let me know you're here, then just leave me a dragon emoji for girls all, or yeah, dragon emoji for girls all, or a light emoji for Voice of War by Zach Argyle. Because, you know, let's support indie authors, guys. Let's just do it. It's good. It's good for the soul. Keeps you young and all that fun stuff. And if you want to see more of me and hear me babble a lot more, because I do babble an awful lot, please consider subscribing down below and ringing that notification bell to get notified every single time I upload new videos. I currently upload on a Wednesday and on a Sunday, so be sure to stick around for more bookish content from me. But otherwise, that is everything for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.